Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this Tuesday talk. My name is Jen Chaney. I'm the Vice President of Franchise Development for Right at Home. I have my friend Nikki joining me today. I have interviewed Nikki before. Nikki, I will have you introduce yourself here in just one moment. But before we get started, housekeeping items. We love to have audience participation during these webinars. So if you are joining us live, I would love it if you would submit a question. Anytime you have a question that pops up into your head as Nikki and I are visiting over the course of the next 30 minutes, go ahead and type it in. And how you do that is, depending on how your Zoom screen is set up, either the top or bottom of your Zoom screen, there should be a Q&A button. You click on that button, a box pops up, and you can type in your question. There's even a little box that you can click that says anonymous if you don't want anybody to see your name. That's completely up to you. But Nikki, no need for you to watch that Q&A box. I will keep my eye on that, and as questions come up, I will make sure that they get asked. Does that sound like a plan? Okay,
Absolutely.
sweet. All right, if you would please introduce yourself to our listeners.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks again, Jen, for hosting. You're always such a delight to talk to. So my name is Nikki, last name Holles. I am the Senior Vice President of People Strategy and Governance here for Right at Home. A lot of fancy words. What does that really mean? For purposes of my discussion here with everybody today, we're going to be talking a lot about caregivers and caregiver recruitment and retention. And that's really that people strategy side of what I do. So just quick, I've got about 30 years experience in kind of people strategy, human resources, personnel, if you're as old as I am. And I've got about 10 plus years experience in home care industry and franchising. So really excited to be here with you, Jen.
Okay, thank you. And we're just going to get right into it. So as you know, the audience of people that are either listening to this webinar live or watching it on a recorded basis, they're interested in potentially joining the Right at Home system as a Right at Home franchise owner. Caregiver recruitment and retention is a topic that comes up quite often. Throughout the education and approval process, we talk about it a lot. Individuals interested in joining the Right at Home system, they are tasked to visit with existing franchise owners to talk to them about their experience being a Right at Home franchise owner, and caregiver recruitment and retention comes up. Fast forward to somebody who signs a franchise agreement. During training and onboarding, what's something that we talk about quite a bit? Caregiver recruitment and retention. So let's start at the very beginning for a brand new franchise owner thinking, somebody who doesn't have any home care experience, any business ownership experience, and they're like, I don't even know where to begin. Where do we start with them? What's the intro into caregiver recruitment and retention for somebody who's brand new to this?
Yeah. It's a great question. So the intro is the statement that I make, which is the caregivers are the life and blood of your business. There was a day, there was a time, an age when a caregiver maybe was a dime a dozen, that you could put an ad out in the newspaper and you could have your sidewalks lined with people, and that just simply isn't the case anymore. And it's forcing employers to be the best employers that they can be. So it really comes down to the culture that you're building in your business, how you and your staff are really trained to treat the caregivers who are providing the services to your clients. It's about some sophistication in the recruiting efforts itself. So understanding the landscape of how job boards work, and we're in the digital age where everything is online and mobile friendly. So understanding some of that nuance, if you will, and then really the other biggest component about recruiting and retaining your caregivers is the communication and training that is provided to caregivers, whether that's new initial training, whether that is communicating your expectations up front, what an employee would be able to expect as a caregiver for your business, what their shifts are going to look like, what their pay is going to look like, and really just those are the core foundational pieces to having a strong caregiver recruitment and retention. It's about communicating, it's about training, and it's about having a healthy culture in your business.
Great. Okay, so similar to the question, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? In this case, what comes first, the client or the caregiver? So somebody who's just opening up their office for the first time, do they get clients first and then hire caregivers? Or do they hire caregivers and they don't have clients yet? What does that look like? So let's focus on caregiver recruitment. How do we
Yeah.
hire those first caregivers? What comes first? Caregiver client. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes. So it's absolutely one of the first questions that we get when we are onboarding a new franchisee. And the answer is unequivocally hire your caregivers first. Go out there. You're gonna be honest with your caregivers. You're gonna hire people and you're gonna tell them, listen, I don't have any active shifts right now. We are just starting out. We are a small business. You get to be part of this from the ground up. There's some excitement in that. You're going to lead off with some training shifts. You're going to lead off with having them help you with some policies. These caregivers are notoriously, and that's not going to change. They are working for multiple agencies. They know the industry. They know what it looks like out there with your competitors. Leverage that, talk to them, use some of that talent that they've got to help you really establish that business, and then use their schedules, their availability to go out there and recruit your clients. Now you can actively go out and say to your clients or to your referral sources, listen, I've got a great caregiver and they are available every Monday and Wednesday from 10 to 2, and they've got this experience and this specialty and this training, and we
Awesome.
can't wait to get her started. And that's how you sell your clients.
Okay, awesome. That's great advice. So, do I just, as a new owner, do I find, just go to a website and post a job for a caregiver? Do I make up my own, application? What do I do, Nikki? How do I get those caregiver applications?
Yes, so many things. So we do have a requirement here with Right at Home and with our franchisees that franchisees are using what is referred to as an applicant tracking system. What an applicant, its name is misleading. It feels like I'm saying, oh, find an Excel spreadsheet and track your applicants. That's not what I'm saying. So an applicant tracking system is designed as a one-stop shop for businesses. You post your jobs in this applicant tracking system. Those jobs are then picked up by hundreds of different job boards that are out there. Indeed, ZipRecruiter, all the big ones, a lot of small niche ones. And then when people apply, they're coming right back into your applicant tracking system. And then from there, you're going to be able to communicate. You can text, you can email, you can call, you can have conversations with your applicants right from one spot. And you're able to manage that, and you can take them all the way through the hiring process, including background checks, through your applicant tracking system before you hire them and get them into your payroll software.
Okay, great. There's a question that came in, and I can tell this is the person who asked this question is attending our next Discovery Day. We have a Discovery Day coming up next Friday. So this question says, are there any proven messaging strategies that resonate most with potential caregivers? So I'm assuming, as far as like a job posting template, have we played around with that language and what works best or doesn't?
Yeah, yes. And that is really the beauty, in my opinion, of being part of a franchise system, because you do get to leverage all of the knowledge that has been gathered throughout all of the different regions and different kind of seniorities and whatnot. We've got templates for job postings that work the best, but also templates for communicating once a applicant applies. What kind of messaging is resonating best with that person immediately after they apply? How often should you be reaching out to them? How quickly should you be establishing an interview? What should your application look like? So lots of best practices that you get through being part of a franchise network.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then another question came in. It says, if you hire a caregiver that works for another senior care agency, do I need to completely retain them?
So I can that, and if the person wants to provide a little bit more context, but I'm going to answer what I think the question is. So
Okay.
Meaning, is it okay, first of all, if they work for multiple agencies? Did you get a little bit of context, Jen?
Yes.
Go for it.
Instead of retain,
Okay.
the person who asked the question meant to say retrain.
Oh, got it. Thank you. Great. All right.
Two very different words.
Very different words, yes. So, retrain, no. So, a lot of franchisees and businesses will create kind of that amount of time, whether it be 6 months or 12 months, to say, if you have X amount of time between shifts, we will just rehire, like reset your status from inactivated to activated, and everything will stand as it was when they left. So, unless your state home care license has requirements on some of those things, we as a brand and in the industry, we really tell people to look at it as a kind of a 6 to 12 month time frame, and just look at it from a active shift to active shift. When was their last active shift to when they want to come back?
Got it. Okay. And one thing that I do want to clarify that sometimes people are unsure about, when you join the Right at Home system as a franchise owner, you are, as the franchise owner, you are the one that hires your caregivers. We, as the franchisor, don't hire your caregivers for you. We're going to give you all the tools and all the resources and everything that Nikki's talking about. We're going to provide that to you as the franchise owner, but you hire the caregivers. In addition to that, you are also going to train your caregivers. Again, we're going to give you all the resources and all the tools and everything that you need to train your caregivers, but you are the one that hires your caregivers, and you are the one that trains your caregivers. Okay, anything to add to that, Nikki?
No, you did great, Jen.
Okay, so next question, it says, what type of certifications or trainings do caregivers need to have to qualify for employment?
Yeah. So this also can depend on the state that you're in. So some states, because of the home care licensing requirements, may have some of their own requirements and might say training on dementia and Alzheimer's care, as an example, might be required before an employee can start taking shifts with clients. So there could be certain trainings like that. Other trainings that we recommend as the franchisor, if those requirements aren't in place from a state level, are going to be things like infection control. So proper hand washing, how to, when it's appropriate to be wearing a mask. You want to make sure that you're training in how to lift a client potentially, how to transfer a client from chair to bed, bathing techniques, and some proper personal care techniques. Those are going to be the types of trainings that we recommend that you provide either prior to them taking their first shift, or at least within that first 30 days.
Okay, perfect. So time flies when you're having fun, Nikki. We are
Crazy.
halfway through. We have talked about caregiver recruitment. So now let's shift and talk about retention.
Okay.
So what are some things that we have in place to help and support our franchise owners with, once they've hired these caregivers, how do they keep them?
Yeah, never before has retention been as important as it is today. I can say that without a shadow of a doubt. Again, because there truly is more need for caregivers than there are caregivers available. So retaining the caregivers that you have is really important. And so that is unique for each office. But I will tell you what is most recognized and studied and researched is the fact that caregivers, for all intents and purposes, are not doing this job to get rich. So very rarely is it about money. Now, of course, they need to have a fair living wage, and there needs to be some equity there. But really what it comes down to is, are they treated fairly? Are they asked for their opinion? Are they contacted? These are lonely positions where they are going into somebody's home with just another client. They're not in a facility where they have coworkers that they can laugh with and take breaks with. So it can be a lonely job. So frequent touch points, check-ins, and just making sure that the caregiver knows we value you. We value your feedback. We value your input, the work that you're doing. We do some panels, and we listen to caregivers. We ask caregivers these questions. What makes you stay? Why do you stay with your employer? And it never, ever ceases to amaze me, but the very first answer is, my employer cares about me.
Yeah.
And that is the reason that they stay. And it's how you show that you care. It's the phone calls, it's the cards, it's the text messages, it's the potlucks, it's the remembering their kids' names, it's all
Yeah.
of the things. And that truly is what keeps a caregiver engaged.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk a little, and I want to echo that a million times over. It is so important, and I think that is applicable to um, any place of employment. You know, like if I truly love what I do here because I feel appreciated and valued and supported, and I think that rings true with caregivers as well, and it's so incredibly important. So, what are some of the platforms that we have?
Yeah.
Maybe recent partnerships that
Yeah, no,
we
I
have in
love it,
place.
Jen. Thanks for leading me to to where we're going. I appreciate it. But no, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this. And so every franchisee has a unique way of doing things, and some franchisees really prefer to do things a little bit old school and do the phone calls and the note cards, and which is it's fantastic. And then we have a lot of businesses that really want to leverage technology for what technology can do. And so we do have a partnership, national partnership with a vendor. Proudly, I can tell you one of the best vendors we've ever worked with, Caribou Care. And they are a caregiving company that happens to leverage technology to engage caregivers. They are not a technology company trying to get into caregiving, right? We've all worked with those people.
Mhm.
But Caribou Care truly, they understand what motivates a caregiver, what makes them tick, how to engage with them. They have kind of preset engagement and rewards programs that you can use, employee referral programs, and they leverage technology through an app to create rewards and to create fun kind of gamification of
Mhm.
engagement and picking up shifts and all of the things. And it's rewarded through whether it's gift cards or company swag or shout outs. So it just really depends on the franchisee's budget.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. And then finally, how do we truly know caregiver satisfaction? Maybe we've got things in place to help with, like, hey, we send out surveys to clients. Are you satisfied with the services that you have received from Right at Home? But how do we know if caregivers are truly satisfied with their place of employment?
Yeah, so we work with one of the industry's best surveying management companies, satisfaction management companies for both client and caregivers. And this means that all of our franchisees, once you hit a certain number of employees, that you'll have automatic surveying of your clients and your caregivers and really measuring the employee satisfaction levels, and it really gets down into some of the kind of the sub pieces. How satisfied are you with the training, with the office, with the relationships that you have with the office staff?
There she is. Looks like technology is awesome, you guys. She is joining us from her cell phone, it appears, because her computer probably just quit. So, Nikki, go ahead.
Absolutely
I can
went
see
black.
you. I can hear you. Go ahead and just pick right up right where you left off.
Perfect. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
So, oh, you're going to have to remind me where I was. Jen, this is so embarrassing.
Okay. So you were talking about activated insights and
Oh,
how we
thank you. Yeah,
measure
survey.
caregiver satisfaction. Mhm.
Yes, thank you so much. So,
Yep.
Activated Insights, like Jen said, is the name of the company that we use. They are absolutely one of the industry in home care, senior care services. We're able to benchmark scores. We're able to look at kind of subsets of satisfaction. Like I said, whether it's satisfaction with relationship with the office staff, with their pay, with their training, with their communication, with the clients that they are paired with, and if they're promoting your business or not. So that, as well as things like Great Place to Work certification surveys and the insights that we get from that, and so many other ways that we're capturing this data. And of course, we use retention as a measurement of satisfaction as well.
Okay, perfect. And a question came in, getting back to how we get the caregiver feedback. The question says, what's the best way to structure caregiver feedback loops so they feel heard and valued? And I believe maybe what I think this question means is how often do we survey caregivers, and then how do we reply? How do the franchise owners reply to if there's something in a survey from a caregiver that's a call to action? How do we respond to that?
Yeah.
Franchise owners.
So yes, thank you. So one of the things we do recommend is some very intentional touch points in the first 90 days. So really it's after their first shift, after training, after their first shift, after the first 7 days, 30 days, 60 days. So some really intentional touch points up front, whether it be through your technology platform you're using or phone calls or other things that you're leveraging. But then from a survey perspective, I will tell you one of the great things about Activated Insights is they do have the ability to show you, who the caregiver was that took the survey, what their responses were, and
Great.
it allows you to do a reach out to say, hey, I can see that it looks like you might be a little bit frustrated in this area. How can we help you? What's going on? We would love to make sure, we want you to be able to give us fives. What does that look like? So absolutely opportunities to do that.
Okay, perfect. And while we lost you momentarily, I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? Well, while we're waiting for Nikki, what I want you to talk a little bit about, and we've got a little over 5 minutes left. What I want you to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about is our annual conference, which we call Home Improvement. Like the final night, and it's like the biggest award of the entire conference, is our Caregiver of the Year award. So this really kind of ties into that caregiver retention. It's something that each local office talks about with their caregivers, and caregivers are nominated. And it's a big deal. And I want you to talk all about that, if you would, please.
It's such a big deal, and there's just never a dry eye in the house ever. Because again, the caregivers, they're not doing this to get rich. They do this because they are compassionate. They care about their clients. They care about what they do. They want to make a difference in the lives of these seniors. And this process is filled with getting submissions from the office staff, but then we spend time and visit with the clients and get testimonials from the clients about these caregivers that have been nominated. We're getting testimonials from the clients' family members who have been impacted by the help that this caregiver has been providing. And then this also, it's a nationwide, national award. And so franchisees across the United States are actually part of the vetting process and reviewing. So it's real people that do this every day. They know what these caregivers are going through. And then we have external panels who are selecting kind of final winners who specialize in the industry. And these caregivers, they're winning $5,000 in cash from us, the corporate office. The franchise offices are getting so much local and national media attention as a result of this. It's so significant and so special. It's a fantastic time of year.
Yes, yes. And it's definitely something to talk about as a franchise owner when you hire a caregiver. Like, this is one of the many things that you can strive for. And as you, just to echo what you just said, it's such a big thing for you as the franchise owner to, like, toot your horn to say,
Yep.
listen, I had a caregiver of the year who's a, current employee, and Nikki, you are so right. Like, I'm not a crier, but dang it, every year they put together this amazing video that shows like the caregiver caring for a client and just how much they care, and they bring their families and they're crying and everybody's crying. It's just such a heartfelt occasion. And I say it quite often, you have to have a passion for people if you're part of this business. And caregivers, not only the clients are they the focus, obviously, but caregivers are just as big as a focus on you as a franchise owner, caring for those clients, of course, but then also caring for those caregivers as well. So another question came in here. It says, how long do caregivers typically work for you?
Gosh, we see it really all over the board. So there are some kind of just by nature of the job, it can be a little bit transient, where you might have nursing students or folks who are working moms who work during the day while their young kids are in school. And then you've got your caregivers that are approaching retirement or just kind of coming into retirement in their 50s and 60s, even 70s, who are some of your longest tenured caregivers.
Yep.
And it's usually folks that have been caring for maybe their own parent or a loved one, and they just want to continue to make a difference. And so we've got caregivers, some of our franchisees that have been in the network for almost 30 years, have some caregivers that have been with them for almost 30 years. It's just incredible. So it's just really all over the board.
Yes. Okay. So we only have a few minutes left. Wait, another question just came in. Let me read it to you. It says here, outside of Caregiver of the Year time, is there a way for franchisees to share great stories about things their caregivers are doing out in the field on a regular basis? And I say that with passion because we just had a weekly town hall where, yes, that happened and it happens on a regular basis. Nikki, take it away.
Yeah, did you plant that question too? Because that's a good one. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So yes, we have lots of opportunities. We do have a recognized week at the beginning of the year, National Caregivers Week, where there's a great opportunity to recognize. But the day-to-day stuff, the special moments, we call those mission moments. And that's when our mission, our right at home mission, is being fulfilled through the caregiver. And so these are opportunities for franchisees to share these mission moments with us and with the rest of our network. And we talk about them on national town halls where we're sharing all of these great stories and just so many opportunities.
Yes. So like we just had a town hall not too long ago, maybe about an hour or so ago, where there was a mission moment that was shared with hundreds of franchise owners. I also see them post on social media. There's multiple ways to share these mission moments. So again, great question. And the answer is yes, there's multiple ways to do that. And we highlight those as much as we possibly can. Okay, so only a couple minutes left. Nikki, is there anything that we didn't talk about today that you feel you need to say to our audience? Remember, people who are interested in joining the Right at Home system regarding caregiver recruitment and retention. Any final thoughts?
I think the only thing, Jen, that I would love to say or add is just the importance when and if you decide to become part of a franchise network is one of the biggest benefits in doing that is surrounding yourself with peers who are in the same boat as you. They have the same objectives. They have the same mission to go out there and accomplish, and just leverage your peers, leverage what the system has to offer, engage with other people, with the corporate office, because we really do find that's what brings the most success.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. And thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you. And I know our listeners do as well. I know you're busy ladies, so thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
You too, Jen. Thanks so much.
Have a great day. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.